You are in the temple of the rants, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one is for Magus the Outrageous, who wants me to rant about Family Guy. Lucky there's a Family Guy. Lucky there's a man who positively can't do all the things that make us laugh and cry. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with Family Guy being on TV pretty much fucking constantly. Um, Obviously, I came up with Adult Swim as my primary way of watching anime, and I was never into like the Adult Swim original programming growing up. You know, all the stuff that aired on Sundays or on throughout the week. You know, when they opened it up to more time slots. I didn't care about all that. I was just there for the anime. But Family Guy ran every fucking night. They would usually run 2 episodes every night as the starting point of Adult Swim, and so I ended up seeing every fucking episode in the first probably 6 seasons many times. There are probably a few that I could recite. And I always just thought it was kind of funny. You know, like it's always been hit or miss. It's always been there are jokes that land, jokes that don't. Depends on what you even get. You know, when it comes to like all the weird references and stuff. It tries to appeal to a lot of different styles and sensibilities of humor. It's not just which I think is unique about it. Like most shows have one set type of humor they're going for. Family Guy is just darts at the wall, you know, and I think that's why it had such a broad appeal. Is that even if 3 out of every 5 jokes don't make you laugh, there are constant jokes, and if 2 out of 5 make you laugh, you still laughed, you know. And most shows, it really is going to completely come down to your sense of humor, whether it ever makes you laugh or not. So, you know, it's effective in that sense. It's hard to imagine watching a whole episode of Family Guy and not finding a single thing funny until you get into the later seasons. And the reason I think that those ones started to fail is just that they they broke the show too hard. And like Family Guy was always very meta. It was always like willing to have more sort of experimental episodes or ones that break away from the usual formula and do something a little different. Like obviously the early episodes are more sitcom formulated. They have more of like a moral or some kind of like attempt at Simpsons-esque like you know, heartwarmingness, and I think that did not work at all. Like I think the first season of Family Guy is probably like the least entertaining because of that element of it. I think it definitely got funnier when it was a little bit more just like, yeah, it's just going to be rollicking slapstick funny stories that have funny endings, you know. But then at some point it got to where the characters had all been so like made to participate in so many ridiculous scenarios, and they had been twisted so far from the core of what their personality was that they just feel like they are whatever works in the moment. It's like the writing stopped being what would Meg do in this situation and started being here's a situation that we're going to put Meg into, and she's going to act in whatever way fits that situation. And so all of the characters just became totally incomprehensible. Most of them became fucking assholes. Like, totally weird, amoral, like, crazy people who just do insane shit. And it just, like, lost any element of relatability. It lost any element of, like, charm. Because it just felt like it was trying to be as edgy or as audacious or as crazy as possible. And it doesn't have that same wry pointed wit that South Park has that lets them get away with doing that. It just felt like trashy, you know? And so, yeah, I can't really watch later episodes of Family Guy because I'm usually like, ugh, like this makes me feel like gross watching it. But, you know, those core middle episodes that most people remember, I think they're fine. It's good background noise. It's not something I'd ever go out of my way to watch, but it's not something that I would immediately turn off if it came on TV. You know, unless it was a particularly bad episode, I guess. But I haven't seen it in a long time because I ain't had cable in years. So, you know, probably not a show I'll spend much more time in my life thinking about.